Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are doing well today. So in today's video, I am going to be revisiting my favorites from 2019. Last year in 2019 is actually whenever I started my channel. I actually did a video on drugstore favorites as well as high-end favorites from the year 2019. So I'm really excited to be able to just kind of reflect on my favorites last year, revisiting them. Are they still favorites? Are they not? I will tell you a lot of these are still my favorites, but I've definitely replaced some. So let's go ahead and get started because today is going to be a long one. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing is just basically covering each category of makeup. So I'm going to begin with primers and start off with the favorite primers from last year and then what are my favorite primers this year. So last year in 2019, my favorite drugstore primer was the Maybelline Master Blur Stick. And while I still enjoy that primer, I actually haven't used it in a really long time. So I'm sure it's still good. I'm sure I still really like it. It's just not a favorite anymore because obviously it's not one that I really gravitate towards, but it's still in my collection. I haven't decluttered it, which I guess is a good sign. And the primer spray that I really enjoyed was the Urban Decay B6 spray. And I'm very happy to report that that is completely finished, and so it's no longer in my collection. I do enjoy that primer a lot. It's more of a primer spray, but it does prime the skin very well. The reason that I wanted to finish it was because I don't think it's available anymore, and I don't know how long it's been unavailable, to be honest with you. So I just wanted to just finish it up. It's a product that I really enjoyed, so it was easy for me to finish up. But yeah, I'm really glad that that's still a favorite of mine. And then we have the Smashbox Primer Water. I still really do enjoy that product as well. I wouldn't say that it's necessary in the sense of like I need to go out and purchase it. I have finished both of the ones that I did have in my collection. I feel like it honestly took me like all year to finish these primer sprays. But they are a really great product. I think if I found it on sale, I would probably repurchase it. But it's nothing that I feel like I need to like run out and repurchase. And then the First Aid Beauty Pores Be Gone primer. I still really do enjoy that primer, but again, I just feel like makeup has just been so weird for me this year. With me working remotely a lot of the time, of course, like when the pandemic hit, I was working remotely for like 3 months straight. And then even when I'm in the office, I'm only in the office part-time. So I feel like makeup is just really hard for me this year to formulate favorites because I feel like I've just been really bouncing back and forth between products. But I still enjoy that First Aid Beauty primer. I still have it and I still thoroughly enjoy it. It's just something that I'm not really like loving, I guess. It's not something that I'm reaching for a whole lot. But definitely talking about this makes me want to pull it out of my collection and maybe include it in my next Shop My Stash. And then of course the Smashbox Photo Finish Primerizer. I still really do enjoy this primer as well. I don't think it's my favorite primer anymore just because it's more of a hydrating primer, and I feel like with hydrating primers, as much as I love them, I don't think that I absolutely need them in my collection because I feel like with my skincare, my face feels hydrated enough. So I really love glowy primers or blurring primers, just something that I can actually see like results with. And so I do like the Smashbox Primerizer. I think it's a perfect like everyday primer. It works well with a lot of foundations, but I just feel like it's not my favorite anymore, but I do really enjoy it. So for 2020, what are my favorite primers right now? I would definitely have to say that my top favorite is probably the Tatcha Liquid Silk Canvas. I thoroughly enjoy this primer so much. I did purchase this during the spring Sephora VIB sale whenever it like kind of initially released. I really do enjoy this primer. I feel like it does a lot when it comes to priming the skin, smoothing the skin, all of that. I also really enjoy the Milani Soft Focus Glow Primer. This is by far such a hidden gem at the drugstore. I feel like nobody talks about it and it's absolutely stunning. It's just a really nice glowy primer that adds just a beautiful radiance to the skin before foundation. And then finally, I have a very baby size of this, but this is the Benefit Hydrating Professional. I really do enjoy this one as well. I have tried the original Professional and I really don't care for it. Whenever I received this hydrating one from my Ipsy bag, I was so excited because I was always wanting to try it, and I'm so glad that I did because I absolutely love it. So these are probably the primers that I've been loving the most in 2020. Okay, so now moving on into foundations. So in 2019, my favorites were the L'Oreal Fresh Wear Foundation. I really do still enjoy that foundation. I actually just finished it in my Finish 5 by Halloween project. So I really do enjoy that one, but it's no longer in my collection because I finished it. The Flower Beauty Light Illusion Foundation was a honorable mention. So it's funny how our preferences change because now I don't really care for that foundation. I had it in my collection and I was trying to just finish it up because it was expiring due to the SPF. And as I was finishing it, I just really didn't care for it. I felt like it really just sat ugly on my skin. It didn't really enhance anything good that I wanted it to anyways. So I don't really like that one anymore. Also the Maybelline Superstay Foundation was another honorable mention, and I still have that foundation. I do enjoy it. I wouldn't say it's my favorite. It's not anything that I gravitate towards regularly, but it's still a good one. And then on the high end side, my favorite was the ABH Luminous Foundation, and I still think that foundation is really beautiful, but to be honest with you, I haven't used it a lot this year. I'm not sure why. I just had so many I still have so many foundations, but in the beginning I had so many. Right now I'm doing pretty good at not purchasing any, but still, I just feel like I have so many in my collection that it's really difficult for me to like continue using each and every one of them. But the ABH foundation is a really great option. This year, my favorite was definitely, I just really gravitated towards this one a lot. The ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Tinted Moisturizer. I just really love this product. I did purchase it like towards the end of last year, and I didn't really have it in my possession until January, so I'm considering this a 2020 favorite. It is just really, really nice on the skin. It feels like I'm applying a moisturizer whenever I apply this to my skin. It doesn't provide good coverage, obviously, with it being a moisturizer, but a tinted moisturizer, but I really love the finish that it leaves on the skin. Basically, after I set it with powder, I just absolutely love the look that it leaves on my skin, and I've just thoroughly been enjoying this year. Some other great ones that I have tried this year is the Profusion Feel Good Skin Foundation. This is really, really nice. I haven't had it for very long, just a few months now, and every time that I use it, I'm really impressed. It's a very pigmented foundation, and I really do enjoy it, as well as the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Foundation. This is really nice as well, and as soon as I heard that they were releasing a foundation in this line, I really wanted to grab it because I love the tinted moisturizer so much. And then I also enjoy the Believe Beauty Foundation. I did pick this up this year, and again, I'm just very impressed with it. So these were the foundations that really stood out to me, mainly the tinted moisturizer because I've been using that one longer, but these three I have purchased this year, and I really have been enjoying them. So I got really hot. I'm sorry, I took off my sweater. Why suffer? But going to concealer, my favorite was the Milani Conceal and Perfect Concealer. Still really like that one. It's probably getting old, so I should probably try to finish it, but I do like that one. I don't think it's a favorite anymore. The L'Oreal Full Wear was an honorable mention. Still like that one. It is a little bit drying though underneath my eyes, but I still do enjoy it and I still own it. But in 2020, and for high end, I didn't have one because I don't really have a whole lot of, like, I have high end makeup, but it's not in every category. But this year for drugstore or just in general, my favorite concealer was the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. This is my favorite concealer of all time. I love it so much. It is so good. It's beautiful underneath the eyes. It almost gives like a cooling effect on the skin whenever you apply it, and it's very opaque, very pigmented, and it wears beautifully. So this came out like in January. I didn't get it right away. I probably got it like in February or something, but I love this so much. I will say the shade range is kind of like weird. Like it's hard to find your shade, but if you can find a good shade match for you, this is absolutely a great concealer. So moving on to powder. My favorites were the Wet n Wild powder, the Flower Beauty Light Illusion powder, and the Maybelline Fit Me powder. The Maybelline Fit Me was an honorable mention, but I really did enjoy the Flower Beauty powder as well as the Wet n Wild powder. So this year I didn't put that I have a favorite, and I feel that to be true, mainly because this year I just really focused on finishing up powders in my collection. I was trying to finish up the Collab Set the Stage Ultra Fine Loose Setting powder, like I feel like all year, and I finally finished it. So I feel like I was just so focused on that one that I really didn't have any favorites. I have tons of powders in my collection though, so I need to get use out of a lot of them, but the Wet n Wild one is still really great. The Flower Beauty one I did finish, and so you know, I'm very pleased with that powder. I loved the way that it performed. I think it's a really great pressed powder. And the Maybelline Fit Me, I think once I go through a few of my powders, I would probably consider repurchasing that one. It's a really great day-to-day powder, and it's really reliable when it comes to pairing with foundations and things like that. So for bronzer, I did mention the Flower Beauty Heat Wave bronzer, and then for high end, I mentioned the Milk Makeup Cream bronzer as well as the Too Faced bronzers. And I said bronzers because I picked up from TJ the like Sweetie Pie bronzer, the Unicorn Tears bronzer, as well as the Natural Lust bronzer, and I was like super obsessed with those last year. Out of that, I only have the Natural Lust in my collection still. I still like the Flower Beauty bronzer, and I actually still am really loving the Milk Makeup Cream bronzer. So the Milk Makeup bronzer is definitely still a favorite of mine. I love this bronzer so much. It's just really beautiful on the skin. I feel like it really blends out really nicely. It wears really well, obviously, and I just feel like it brings your makeup to like the next level. So I've really been enjoying this one. Even in 2020, I was looking at my bronzers right now, and I feel like there's not really any that have really just like, you know, thrown my socks or knocked my socks off, but I really have been enjoying this one, you know, continuously in 2020 as well. So for bronzers, that's definitely one that I've been loving. So for blush, I did mention on the drugstore side, my BH Cosmetics blush and highlighter palettes. So the Blushing in Bali as well as the Glowing in Grease, and definitely still loving those. That formula is still one of my favorites within my collection. I also mentioned the Natasha Denona Bloom palette, the like Blush and Glow palette. I still have that in my collection. I still really do enjoy that. I didn't use it that much this year, unfortunately, but it's still a beautiful, beautiful palette. I also mentioned the Bare Minerals Gen Nude blushes, and I still do enjoy those, but I think I have others in my collection that I just enjoy a little bit more. For this year, I put the Flower Beauty Liquid Blush. So for 2020, I still, like I said, love all of those blush formulas, but what I definitely put my Flower Beauty Blush Balm in the shade Cinnamon as one of my favorites. This is by far one of my favorite blushes to this day in my collection. I just absolutely love the way that it blends on the skin. It blends out really easily, and the shade is perfection. I absolutely love wearing it during this time of year, especially. Sticking with like cream and liquid blushes, the Tower 28 blush in the shade Magic Hour has just been a favorite of mine as well. It's a very easy blush, cream blush formula to use, and I just basically just grab my stippling brush and just tap it in here and put it on my cheeks, and it works out perfectly. So this has been another formula that I've really been loving. Then I mentioned all of my Essence blushes, and I feel like Essence has just really been my favorite blushes this year. I feel like the very first one that I got is this one. This is the Essence Matte Touch Blush, and it's in the shade Peach Me Up. It's just super stunning. I really have been enjoying this one this year. I also picked up the blush from Essence, and I have the shade Beloved. It's just such a beautiful pink shade. I also, in that same the blush line, picked up this one in the shade Bespoke. It's just like a bronzy, rosy toned shade. And then I also have one of their blush lighters, and I have the shade Nude Twilight. This is probably my favorite. I just think it's so stunning, and these have really knocked it out of the park for me. I think Essence does such a wonderful job on blushes, and these have just been my favorite. So I've really been enjoying these this year, and I feel like they just really topped so many formulas for me. For highlight, I kind of just put the BH Cosmetics highlights in that category, and then I had none for high end. But for highlight this year, I really only have two. So firstly, I chose this one from Rare Beauty. It's one of her liquid luminizers, and I have the shade Enlighten. This is such a beautiful shade and also formula. I just like put a couple dots on the cheekbones, and I just blend it into the skin, and it's just very weightless. And it's kind of like a lit from within look, and I really do enjoy it. And this is one of the few products that I have from Rare Beauty, and I'm ultimately impressed with it. I also chose Benefit Cookie Highlighter, and I had wanted this for such a long time. And I picked it up during like the month of August for my birthday, and I'm so glad that I did. It's a very like beaming highlight, but I think it's absolutely stunning. I have really been enjoying this one a lot this year as well. So for eyeshadow, or for brows, my bad. For eyebrows, I did put the ColourPop Precision Brow Pencil, and I finished that one off. I don't know if it was last year or early this year. I still think it's a really nice pencil, but I just haven't repurchased it because I was trying to finish up some other brow products in my collection, but that is a really great one. I also mentioned the Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil, and I'm still really enjoying that one as well. This year for brows, I said the Milani, it's the Stay Put Brow Color Pomade. I've really been enjoying that one. I feel like it's a very forgiving brow pomade, and it's from the drugstore, so even better. I also mentioned the Benefit Goof Proof. I don't have that in my collection anymore because I did finish it, but I was really impressed with that. I was really impressed with that brow pencil, you know, throughout this entire year. I only finished it up like recently, so I was using that for a good majority of the year. And also the Urban Decay Brow Blade. I really do enjoy that one as well. I love the ink stain side. I feel like it was really innovative, and I also think that a lot of brands are starting to come out with similar things. So they definitely set a trend with that. I'm sure they copied Glossier, but I don't know. But I still really enjoy not only the ink stain side, but also the brow pencil side. And moving into eyeshadow. So last year, my favorites for the drugstore were Profusion. And I have to say, you guys are probably gonna be sad, but I just feel like I'm not super into Profusion eyeshadows anymore. I, recently had the Wanderlust palette in my 12 Pans of Christmas project, and I'm actually feeling like decluttering it. I'm trying to sell it currently on Marketplace, like in a little palette bundle, because I don't know, I did a look with it and I was just underwhelmed. Like, I feel like it wasn't just inspiring me anymore, and I was kind of just bored with it. And so I am just kind of not really loving Profusion anymore. I love like the foundation, like I said, and the makeup brushes are really good as well. I think the next time I buy a Profusion palette, I'm probably going to get one of their like 10 shade palettes that are like $5, because I feel like those are a little bit more approachable, because they're obviously a lot more slimmed down, because there's only 10 shades. So those aren't my favorites anymore. I also talked about the Natasha Denona Biba palettes, the Urban Decay Naked Honey, the Too Faced Extra Spicy palette, and our Gingerbread Extra Spicy palette, and then also my Stila Liquid Shadows. I love all of those except for the Stila Liquid Shadows. I just feel like I'm never gonna repurchase those. They dry up so fast. I never gravitate towards them. I never use them. I have to push myself to use those because I don't want to waste all of the money I spent on them. So those are kind of disappointing. I think they're stunning. Like whenever I swatch them, I'm like completely like infatuated by how beautiful they are, but they just dry out so easily, and before I even get to use them, they're just gone or expired. So this year my favorites were definitely Natasha Denona. I feel like she came out with so much this year. I really do enjoy her bronze palette. I think that it's such a pretty palette, perfect for every day, but also a glam night out on the town or what have you. I also really enjoy the glam palette. The glam palette I haven't had as long, just a couple of months at this point, but I still enjoy this one so much, and I think it's absolutely stunning. I know that I kind of like talked about these palettes in my last couple of videos ago about just kind of like unpopular opinions slash hot takes, and I do think that she released everything really quickly this year and that she released a lot, but I do really love these releases from her line. And I want to say between these palettes and a lipstick, this is like all I bought from the brand. I did purchase the Metropolis palette, but that was through Poshmark, so from a seller. But really, I just loved these palettes so much. I think that they're a really great hit from Natasha Denona, and I think she's really found a market with these like medium-sized palettes. So other eyeshadow related products that I've been loving besides the Natasha Denona palettes are these Maybelline Color Tattoo eyeshadows. This is like what the packaging looks like, just in case like you never know what I'm talking about when I talk about these. This is in the shade High Roller. It's just a really nice like taupey brown shade, and these are absolutely stunning for just every day in my opinion. I also have the shade Socialite, and this is one that I was eyeing for a while and I finally picked it up, and it's just in this really pretty like rose gold shade, like pinky rose gold shade. It's so stunning. This is my favorite one, but these are perfect for every day, and if you're going to be working late or working a lot of hours, these really do last really well on the eyelids. I also did discover my love for Alter Ego. I did purchase, well, one of them was gifted to me for Christmas last year, and so I obviously like used it in 2020, and then one of them I did purchase. So I did get the Goddess palette for Christmas, and this is just such a beautiful palette. It's supposed to be basically a dupe for the Natasha Denona Gold palette, and I didn't want to spend the price for that, so I'm glad that I have that one. I also purchased the Alter Ego Aurora palette, which is a dupe for the Natasha Denona Sunrise palette. And so really love the Alter Ego formula, and I love that they make it accessible for people to get Natasha Denona color stories for a decent price. And this is kind of an honorable mention because I haven't had it in my collection very long, but the ColourPop Stone Cold Fox palette is definitely a favorite already. I am just dying to play with this palette all the time. I absolutely love it. As soon as it released, I purchased it, which was probably impulsive, but honestly, I don't care because I love it. I think this is such a stunning palette. I haven't had it very long, so I can't like say it's a yearly favorite, but this is just by far one of the best ColourPop releases of 2020 in my opinion, and I feel like a lot of people don't even like it, but I think it's so beautiful and it's right up my alley. So those are the 2020 eyeshadows that I've been loving in comparison to the 2019 favorites. This video is so long. I'm so sorry. And I knew it was gonna be long as soon as I was prepping this video. So for favorite lip products, the CoverGirl Continuous Color Lipstick in the shade It's Your Mauve was one of my favorites, as well as the L'Oreal Infallible Matte Gloss. That is kind of like the hybrid between like a liquid lipstick and a lip gloss and all of that in one. I still have both of those lip colors in my collection. I still really do enjoy them. Also, the Revlon Vinyl Lip Glosses. I actually do not like those anymore. I decluttered them out of my collection. I just can't stand the formula. I don't know why those were ever a favorite of mine, but whatever. The Bare Minerals Liquid Lipsticks, still really do enjoy those. I feel like in that video I said that I don't care for liquid lipstick, but then in my Like in my video, I showed nothing but liquid lipstick favorites in my high-end video, so I don't know what I was doing. But the Bare Minerals liquid lipsticks are a really great formula. The Ofra liquid lipsticks were another favorite. I still really do enjoy those. The Persona liquid lipsticks were my favorites, as well as the Persona lip glosses. Still really do enjoy those, and I have all of those formulas still in my collection. And this year, I really have enjoyed the Too Faced liquid lipsticks. So I picked up this set. It's one of the holiday sets from Too Faced this year. It's their liquid lipstick set. I picked this up a few months ago, and I am so impressed with this. I just have it in the packaging still because I think it's cute. I just really love the Too Faced liquid lipsticks. I think they're my favorite liquid lipsticks out there. They are so comfortable. They're very pigmented. They're very lightweight on your lips. You know, I don't feel like they're like drying my lips out or anything like that. So the Too Faced liquid lipsticks have definitely been a formula of mine that I've been loving this year. I also talked about the e.l.f. Sheer Slick lipstick in the shade Golden Pear. I absolutely love that one so much. It's really the shade that's just so stunning, and also the formula is really nice as well. Also the Buxom Pumpkin Spice Latte Lip Gloss. I have talked about this many times on my channel already and included it in favorites videos. I also love this one so much. It's just a beautiful shade, and I still do really love the Persona glosses. My favorite shade is the shade Honey. And for mascara, I had a lot of CoverGirl mascara favorites last year. I really loved the Professional Super Thick Lash from CoverGirl, as well as the Super Sizer mascara from CoverGirl. And I don't have those obviously in my collection anymore, but those are great formulas. For mascara this year, I have had so many mascaras in my collection for so long now, and I don't have really a favorite because I've just really been rotating through the ones in my collection. I only have 2 open at the moment, and as soon as those are done, I'm just gonna reopen another bottle. And I just feel like mascara is kind of like clockwork for me. Like it's like a workhorse for me, that it's not something that I'm really like noticing, if that makes sense. So I don't really have a favorite from this year. As far as setting sprays, I mentioned e.l.f. mist in general, the hydrating coconut mist, as well as the dewy set mist, also the Urban Decay All Nighter. I still love all of those so much. And then this year, my favorite is the Bare Minerals Dew Mist. I mentioned this in one of my favorites videos, and I really love this this setting spray. I also really love the ABH Dewy Set setting spray. This is a really great one as well. And a recent favorite of mine is the ColourPop Pretty Fresh setting spray. The ColourPop Pretty Fresh line is just really a great line, and it works really well for me. So those are the sprays that I've been loving in 2020. So those are all of my 2020 favorites in comparison to my 2019 favorites. And I hope that this was helpful to you. It's kind of like me giving a review on my 2019 favorites as well as my like 2020 favorites in one video. I apologize if it's very long. Obviously I'll know whenever I'm editing it, but I hope you enjoyed, and please, I hope that you will subscribe because I am doing Vlogmas until Christmas. So basically I'm uploading every day until Christmas, and so I really hope that you will subscribe so that you will be just, you know, kept in the loop on when I upload. Also give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy it, and I will go ahead and see you in my next video. Bye!